Hi, Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about a particularly vicious group of lenders called payday loan companies. Let's go down to the beach and talk about this. About 10 years ago, my little sister, who never really understood how to manage finances, got into trouble with a payday loan company. Now, at the time, the payday loan company operated by taking a check. They say, you want to borrow $100? Okay, give me a check for $125. So they're charging basically 25% interest on that. And they say, within 2 weeks, you can pay this off for $125. But of course, people who have trouble with their spending often can't make that payment 2 weeks later. And so they say, well, that's okay. We'll just redo the loan for $175, which makes up for the $125 you didn't pay before, and then we'll tack on a late fee, and then you'll pay $175 in 2 weeks. And of course, that didn't work, and so they just kept churning this until it was a $675 debt, I believe. And when she admitted to them that there was no way she could pay that, they said, well, you gave us your personal check for $675 and we're going to run it through your bank. And she said, well, you can't do that because they don't have the money in there. But they did. They ran that through. And then she got a letter from the prosecutor telling her to come pick up the check, or they were going to issue a warrant for her arrest. At the time, the office was operated by a person who would later become a senator in Missouri, Claire McCaskill, and they issued this really draconian letter to her telling her they were going to arrest her. My little sister wound up having to take bankruptcy to get out of that mess, and yet, even with bankruptcy, she was unable to ever really get her spending under control. But the point of this is that payday lenders are out there to make a ton of money, and they do it in a number of ways. Now, a lot of states have reined in these payday loan companies. They've limited the amount of interest they could charge. They've limited the amount of fees they can charge. So what these folks have done then is they have moved off onto tribal land. There are a lot of these in Arkansas and Oklahoma, Colorado, Wyoming, tribal land where they operate on the reservation and they claim that state and federal laws don't actually apply to them. That's not true. They do apply to them, and the Federal Trade Commission has been very successful in getting money back. I believe they recently got $158 million back for some 690,000 people who were taken advantage of by these payday loan companies. And you can go on the FTC website, www.ftc.gov, and you can see what the Federal Trade Commission has done. All you have to do is search for payday lenders. Payday loans are a bad idea. They work on the idea that, well, I don't have money now, but I'll have money in 2 weeks. But the only problem with that is if you spend the money that you're going to have in 2 weeks, what are you going to have 4 weeks down the road? You're not going to have money. You're going to go right back to the payday lender, and you're going to be spending money every month paying off basically a legal loan shark. So my advice to everybody, and this is practical advice, this isn't legal advice, my practical advice to you is if you need to get a bridge loan, go to a reputable bank or perhaps find some other way to rein in your spending. Do something so that you don't have to go to a payday lender. The payday lenders are not your friend, even though they will swear that they are here. And they often claim when they are called in front of legislatures that, hey, we're the only people that some of these folks, they have bad credit. We're the only people who can help these folks out. And indeed, many people do have bad credit, can't get a bank loan and go to these people. But the reason they have bad credit and can't go to a bank is because, in many cases, they've used the same people who now claim to be their saving grace. They clearly are not. So this is a really short video. The basic purpose of this video is to tell you never, ever, under any set of circumstances, write a check to a payday loan company, because you may wind up finding yourself on the end of a prosecutor's letter telling you to come pick up the check or go to jail. Usually prosecutors don't give you more than about 10 days to do that. So it isn't a good deal, it isn't a good thing, and you want to avoid that at all costs. It is not the way to solve a short-term finance problem. It is a way to create a much longer-term finance debacle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. And if you know somebody who needs this information, if you know somebody who's having trouble with payday loans or who has told you that they have obtained a payday loan, get this information to them. They absolutely need to get out of that rat race and get out of the hamster wheel that is payday loans, because all those folks do is churn until they can't churn anymore, and then they either resort to bullying tactics, they threaten arrest, or in some cases they sue. Either way, you want them out of that madness. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. You know all the stuff we ask you to do. And thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing kind things for other people. We'll catch you down at the beach next time. If you like this video, here are a few others you might try, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a terrific day, guys.